My name is Emily. I am the Crazy Flippin' Mom, and today we're talking about winning on Amazon during Q4. And if you've been following me a while, you know that I switched a lot of my focus to Walmart, and they have kind of pulled the rug out from everybody, changing the way they're running business. And while they are in shambles, I am, of course, looking at Amazon as a way to make money. And also, this is Q4, so I always sell on Amazon during Q4. I sell on Amazon all year round, but I've definitely pulled most of my inventory to Walmart. But I think we're all now coming back to Amazon and figuring out how we can win on this platform during Q4, the changes that have happened and what we need to know. So stick around for this video because I'm going to get you prepped and ready to have a successful Q4. If you're brand new to Amazon or Walmart, there are two ways you can sell on these platforms. One is listing merchant and fulfilling orders direct to customers yourself. The second is sending inventory into a warehouse. Now, for this season, I like to do both. I like to send inventory ahead of time as much as I can, but I also like to clean up on the merchant side when inventory runs out and I know I'm not going to get inventory checked in on time to fulfill the Q4 Christmas deadlines, Thanksgiving deadlines, Halloween deadlines. So instead, I'm fulfilling orders myself, selecting listings myself, and I really like merchant fulfilling for several reasons. It gives me a little bit more control over my inventory. So if I pick a listing and then there's something wrong, it's becomes suppressed, it becomes tanked out overnight, I can easily switch my listings up, pick a new listing, and this is stuff you just can't do when you send things into a warehouse. I want to say the biggest issue I see coming out of Amazon this Q4 that could impact sellers the most is they have been actively cleaning up their catalog for years now. And in the past couple months, I've had listings taken down for they're bundles, multi-packs that were not created correctly. The G10, the UPC does not match, all the things are wrong. So they're cleaning up that side of their catalog. And I was hit with then other bigger issues in account health because of this. Even though I had no active inventory, it doesn't matter. With Amazon, if the listing is in your catalog, you could get hit with potential issues. My biggest goal moving forward is selecting listings that were created correctly. And here's what I'm talking about. We're not doing misbranded anything these days. A lot of bundles were created incorrectly. They weren't used, they're not using the brand, or maybe they're in a generic, and we're completely not using generic listings anymore. They have to be branded correctly. Doing a deeper dive on research on these things just to make sure, because it's crazy, but I get it that if you have these listings in your catalog and they're not created correctly, they're misbranded, it's going to affect you and it could affect your ability to continue to sell. So number one, I am picking good, clean listings. From the top of the listing, the title is correct. There's nothing misleading. Pictures are correct. The description, I even go down and look at reviews. I like looking through reviews to see if customers understood what they're getting. Also, I have found that sometimes there's shipping issues, think like heavy things, breakable items, meltables. So you can definitely see that play out in reviews if there were issues in shipping, and kind of give you a heads up of how you should be shipping that product. I like SellerAmp here because it will tell you if there's a potential for IP claims. So if they have seen people get hit with IP claims, it'll notify you. You can also easily, if you're scanning products in a store, scan the listing and it will show you everybody who's on the listing so that you can see if there's any red flags. Say the brand is selling on the listing. That's a huge red flag. Or if you look at the Keep It chart and one day there's 30 sellers, the next day there's one seller, that's a red flag. All the sellers got kicked off and IP'd. So I think having SellerAmp not only on a desktop, but also on your phone when you're outsourcing, it can save you your account, honestly. And I say this, I bring this up, and you guys know that I prefer to do research only at a computer. But during the next couple months, I am going shopping, I am in stores. I'm not always sitting at a computer. I'm either shopping or shipping, those two things. So having SellerAmp on my phone in a store that I can quickly look at who's selling, IP issues, can I sell it? That's another one. Hook SellerAmp up to your Amazon account and it will tell you if you're ungated or you can actually sell it. So all of these things, having that immediately on your phone, as soon 30 seconds, you have all the information you need. Now, second, I made a coffee break, just a second. I made an Instagram reel last week that said I'm no longer shopping at these stores, and there was a ton of confusion. It kind of ties into this. So I'm no longer shopping at places like TJ Maxx, Home Goods, Marshalls. We don't really have a Marshalls, but those type of stores, like liquidation style stores, because the receipt does not identify the product that you're selling on Amazon. And if you have an IP claim or an authentic without test buy or anything happen and you go to submit that receipt to Amazon, it's not going to give you much protection. Now, I know people have all these loopholes, like take a picture of the product with the receipt. I'm not that organized. And I know that doesn't help like 80% of the time anyways. So I just feel like I'm not doing that. I know I will forget. And that's just not worth anything from TJ Maxx and Ross. Nothing there is worth losing my Amazon account over. So this is one big reason I don't shop at these liquidation style stores. And I even said mom and pop stores. I'm in Iowa, and for a long time I shopped discontinued from like the small town mom and pop shops. I've been to stores where they still handwrite receipts. I've been to stores where the SKU is like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the price of the product. That's not going to help you. Also, if you need to submit proof that your product was new that you sold on Amazon, those receipts do not protect you. And it is why I like to stay to the more mainstream stores. And somebody asked, well, why would a Walmart receipt protect you over TJ Maxx? Only because the Walmart receipt identifies the UPC that you purchased, and you can match it up with the listing to show that line of drawing that line of I bought this new at Walmart. And Walmart is a well-known retailer who only sells new products. Amazon knows this, and it will give me more protection. Now, all the time, no. Nothing is 100%, nothing is foolproof around here. Like sometimes it could, I've seen where Target receipts are not identifying the product enough and people are getting hit and they cannot use a Target receipt anymore. So things are always evolving and changing, but Amazon does recognize retail arbitrage. You can resell products on Amazon, and many times your receipt will help you. Now, this is where it ties into my first issue of picking listings that are not in compliance. If you purchase, and I'm saying this because listen, I did this last year. I made this mistake and I'm going to own it. I'm going to tell you what I did, and hopefully you can avoid the problem altogether. So I picked up a product I've been selling on Amazon for years, like from the beginning of time. And I was selling it. I've sold thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars of this product, and I'm selling it. Well, I got hit with an inauthentic without test buy. So I go grab my Walmart receipt. I'm like, oh, no big deal. I have all the proof that I purchased it new from Walmart. Well, the listing was not created correctly. It is under some random store brand. So I didn't really do my part in selecting that listing that I should have done. It was great value, and somebody created the listing. I don't even remember the brand. But the Walmart receipt didn't match what I was selling. So I was hit with inauthentic without test buy, and I could not prove with my receipt because it was different than what I was selling. And yeah, bottom line, I have seller basics. I submitted it, and like you can't get out of that. If you select a listing that does not match your receipt, your documentation, what are you going to do? So this is why, one, you select the listing that matches the product you're selling. And two, you save your receipts that clearly show what you purchased is what you're selling. Everything has to line up. So retail arbitrage is accepted, reselling is accepted, but you still need proper documentation, invoices, whatever you have to show it all matches, it all lines up. There's nothing fishy going on. I really don't think people do this with ill intent, right? But you give people an inch, and we've destroyed the catalog. We've created bundles that like aren't even close to what they're supposed to be. We've mismanaged what we were given, and now it's all gone. Now we've learned a sad and hard lesson. And there was a lot of things that I love to sell, multi-packs like Christmas bolos, that the listings were taken down and there's nothing I can do about it. And I think we're all like, okay, let's go back to the drawing board and figure out what we're selling this year. Let's start first with learning terms of service. And when I say that, I'm talking to myself too, because I pulled that Walmart receipt and then I looked at the listing and I was like, oh no. It was like I've just been doing it so long I didn't realize. Okay, they're catching up, and I learned a good lesson. Okay, my second, I think I'm on like third and fourth tips, but okay, my second in my brain tip that I'm telling you is this. Every year I get caught in FOMO. I was crying last year in a Walmart parking lot because there was a product I was purchasing and flipping so fast. And I had like $3-ish of profit each sale, but I got caught in the FOMO of trying to keep up with the buy box and selling, and my price kept lowering a little bit at a time, and then realizing at the end of the day, I'm not making much. I was putting in so much work. I was staying up for what? $1.50 a sale? And I keep bringing up this story because it was so painful. I need to remind myself. And this seems so obvious, but you might not be calculating the increased fees on Amazon, the increased fees of shipping, the increased fees of purchasing a Walmart product, and then adding taxes, and then adding your time, and then adding the boxes it took to ship the products, and the bags, and the thermal printers, and. And then once you get set back and you look at this season, oh my God, I have spent a couple of years in tears because I busted my butt for pennies. And I know this seems like, oh, of course you want to sell things for profit, but I'm telling you, you get really swept up. You're not sleeping a lot. You're buying and selling so quickly that when you actually take a step back and you don't factor in all the little extra things, you realize that wasn't worth it. That wasn't worth it. And I am determined not to make that mistake this year. So when I tell you I have already gone into SellerAmp on the back end and increased all of my costs. So you can add fees on the back end of SellerAmp. So as soon as you scan a product, it's already going to factor in. You want to add this much for shipping and handling to each purchase. So you're not bare bones looking at my gross profit or your net profit, not remembering to factor in cost of shipping, cost of running around and gas and all of it. It's going to do that for you. And anything that I can in 5 seconds do and it makes my life a little bit easier, it's like an afterthought, I'm telling you, I'm doing it. If you haven't already gone into the back end of SellerAmp and customized this product, you're probably leaving money on the table and you're not using SellerAmp to all it can be. But do this now and just add in the increased fees of everything now in case you forget later. But also I think it's good just to like pad our numbers because something always happens. Returns happen, the return window is extended. Maybe you oversold and have to drive 2 hours. Like just pad your numbers now so it makes a little bit more sense later when you look at your numbers and you've saved yourself some heartache when you go to look at your net numbers for this season. We know that Amazon regated so many people in the past 6 months. Go look at Amazon if you haven't been there in a while. You'd be surprised all that's regated. I think this is year 8, like I said, and I can pretty much sell anything. Well, I was able to. Now I'm going through listings and brands that I've sold successfully for years and they're gated or restricted. But I will say this, there was this hard gate that came out early and you needed 200 units to ungate. You remember that season, everyone was freaking out. I have found so many listings that are only 10 units. And I will say, I've asked in my community, I've put out listings like this is 10 units for me. It's very mixed responses. Some people it's still 100, 200. Some people it is 10 units. So it seems to be by seller circumstance. So now is the time. Any brands that you need to be ungated in, now is the time to start doing that research, making sure you're approved to sell, making sure the listings are still up, because so many I'm going like, I see them in stores and I'm like, oh, I've sold this for years. I go to Amazon, it's not there anymore. The whole listing was taken down because it was wrong. All of those things are happening. This is the moment you fix that. Not in November, not in December when things are crazy. You need to figure out what you can sell now, what you're ungated in. And I also want to say, my first year, my first Q4, I sold $100,000 gross profit on Amazon and in 30 days, and I was gated in toys. So you do not have to have all the popular categories and brands to make money during the season, but you do have to lock in on something. You do have to Like, what am I focusing on? And if you are new, because there's so many ways you can get pulled, pick something. Pick one place, start there, make sure you're ungated, understand the fee structure, understand the listings, the competition, how to win the buy box. Do you need an FBA over merchant? And then expand. I see sellers getting so overwhelmed because there's so many paths to take that they don't do anything well. They get at the end of the year and they're like, oh my God, I went in 50 different directions and none of them were fantastic and I didn't make much money. We need to fix that problem by starting at one place. You don't have to get ungated in everything. 1, you don't have to join every BOLO group. 2, 3, you need to stop listening to everybody you see on social media that's telling you what to do because you're just spinning in circles and not doing anything. Focus one place, make a goal, and make a straight line to the end of your year. Amazon is not going anywhere. You can expand in the coming years. You can grow, you can learn. This takes time. I'm telling you, from year 1 to 3, I think 3 was a breakthrough year on Amazon. This is a long-term thing, a long-term business, not short-term money. So lock in with that mindset, not I gotta get rich right in the next 3 months. We're creating a house here and we have to start with the foundation. So if you are new and you're worried about all the changes, babe, changes don't stop. They just keep coming, the hurdles keep coming, and we learn how to jump them together. And that's why community is so important. That's why getting tools in your arsenal is so important to keep you on the right path. This is why I love SellerAmp, because it's an easy tool on your phone, on your desktop, all in one, that when you are sourcing in store, not in TJ Maxx, but in Walmart, and you see something that's good, you can scan it in 30 seconds, know what you should be doing. Listen, we're gonna get through this season together. I'm excited for Q4. I'm excited for potential. A lot of changes have happened. A lot of people have left the seller world, but I am still here. I'm excited for the potential of growth in 2026. So hang on with me. We're not done yet. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sharing this with your friends, liking, dropping comments, questions, concerns. Let's talk about it. Until next time, bye.